Have you ever just had one of those bikes that was just not what you expected? That's what this was. There's actually a very funny story behind this bike. This is a Diamondback hook. This bike is probably 3 years old right now. My good friend Kat bought this bike off of Amazon, and he bought this as his very first trail bike. So the very first time I went mountain biking, I actually went with Kat, and we both showed up on Walmart bikes. He was on a Mongoose bike, and I was on I don't recall what bike I was on, but I'll insert a picture right here. But basically, when we got done with our very first ride, we realized very quickly we were underbiked and very underprepared for what we were going to be doing. And you guys have probably seen quite a few of my videos now, and you know where I'm at now. But I was very jealous of Kat because this was the bike that I really wanted, and he was able to get it for like $500, and I ended up going with the GT Aggressor Pro, which here in a minute you'll find out why the GT Aggressor Pro is definitely the better bike for me in the sense of what all went on with this bike. So this bike is just kind of crazy. There's been so many things that have happened to this bike, and you can't necessarily fault the bike for it. So the bike's not a bad bike. The bike's a very good bike. But Kat just had a really bad streak of luck with it. There was one of the very first times we went to Griffin with it, he literally had just pedaled and just snapped his derailleur in half. The thing just exploded. And it also took with it it was crazy how it broke. So it bent the derailleur hanger so bad we had to get a new derailleur hanger, and it literally it broke his derailleur in half. And we had just gotten to Griffin, so he was very upset that happened. The original fork on his kind of like spontaneously combusted. It was some form of Suntour. I think it was a Suntour XCM. And I mean, it got shot so fast, and it just was not good. His original bottom bracket we had to change out because something happened to it, and we ended up just buying a square taper bottom bracket originally to replace that one. But here recently, he just called me maybe 2 weeks ago and asked if I could revamp it for him. So we put a little TLC into the Diamondback hook, and I'm going to go over here in a second what all I've done to it to kind of just bring some life back into this 3-year-old bike. We didn't put too awful much money into it just because, again, it's kind of an older bike. But honestly, I love the green. This bike looks absolutely phenomenal in person. It's a very cool like electric lime green look. It's got some like sparkles in the paint. I mean, it is absolutely a gorgeous, gorgeous bike. So what did I do to this bike over the last couple days as he sent me parts from Amazon? So I did do a brake bleed. It's got some Shimano MT200s, which for the price, I really think they are hard to beat. So quick brake, goodness gracious, a quick brake bleed there, if I can talk. So we did that. Checked the air pressure in the fork and all that fun stuff. We had to put another derailleur hanger on this bike because Casey let a friend borrow it and pretty much destroyed the other derailleur hanger and really badly warped the lower cage on the derailleur. So I had this Microshift 26C. I believe this is the one that came off of my Mongoose Dolomite, so I put that on. And one of the bigger upgrades, actually, is it was already a 1x, but we decided to get the SRAM NX and the Dub bottom bracket and put it on this Diamondback, just to get it a little bit better up front, because it's no longer a square taper, and just to get kind of some better cranks, because the old cranks were getting really worn out and just weren't doing as well as we wanted them to be doing. So, didn't really do too awful much. I was able to keep the same cassette. I was able to keep the same chain. I mean, really just kind of the front, a little bit of the rear, brake bleed. And honestly, this bike should be rocking pretty well as if it was brand new now. So I'm very excited for Kat to get this back on the trail. I'm very excited to see what he says about it now that it's been revamped. But if you have any questions over this really neat Diamondback hook, let me know in the comments. But thank you so much for tuning in for this nice little revamp on this Diamondback. But everyone take care, and until next time.